Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ice Forum at Champlin for CTN Lights live coverage of girls hockey. It's Hockey Day in Minnesota. It's senior night for the Champlin Park Coon Rapids Fighting Bluebirds as they host the Stars from Northern Tier. Final home game of the season at the Champlin site. The Bluebirds will close out the schedule with a pretty tough final week, facing a couple of section opponents, all three conference contests. They will be at Blaine on Tuesday, at Rogers on Wednesday, and then their final game over at the Ice Center in Coon Rapids will be on Saturday when they host Osseo Park Center. In tonight's contest, a young team that on paper should be heavily overmatched by the Bluebirds. The Stars have just two seniors on their roster. They have six eighth graders, including a couple who have made their top scorers list. But their top scorers list, led by Natalie Cheney with just 11 points on the season, 5 goals, 6 assists. Champlin Park Coon Rapids has 3 girls who have 11 goals this season. They have 7 girls who have 11 or more points on the season. This puck dropped, and we are underway, just about a half hour behind schedule due to an overtime contest for the JV, and then a long senior celebration as the Champlin Park Coon Rapids Fighting Bluebirds paid special notice to their 6 seniors. This one played all the way down, no icing. Kylie Scott tried to reverse, didn't get a lot on it. Julene plays it back behind the net. Emma Olson ahead for Cameron Singh. All 5 starters for the Cardinals are their seniors. They get it in deep, get a partial line change. Bowden stops things up on the far board. Behind for Johnson. Quick backhand by Lily McKenzie in close, but Thurmer able to make the save. The Bluebirds also have some impressive youth in their lineup. 3 of their top 4 scorers is a sophomore and 2 freshmen. Sydney Bernovic and Kylie Oswegan have a combined 38 points as freshmen for this squad, and Coach Gutterman has talked frequently about having some talent at the 8th grade level that could absolutely contribute right now, but unfortunately in District 11 not allowed to play varsity as a middle schooler when there is a middle school program available. This will be icing as the indirect pass attempt. Didn't have quite enough angle on it. And a face-off to the left of Maddie Wastrel. Face-off comes right in on Wastrel. She'll cover it up, and we'll try again. Tie up off the draw. Zahalka able to play it into the corner. Scott trying to force it up the boards. Turned around by Zafransky. A steal behind the net by the Cardinals, and they break out the near side. Pass ahead for Olsen into the zone. Little toe drag out front. A shot in tight, and Thurmer able to hold strong and keep this a scoreless game. And Emma Olsen with some good stick work. Got in alone and had a teammate there with her, an opportunity at a 2-on-0. Another tie-up. Cardinals win it, or Bluebirds rather, win it back to the point. But Tori Thurmer able to poke it out past Scott. Stars trying to set up deep. Swung back up the near boards. Held there by Miller. The shot towards the slot. Didn't get through the traffic. Scott wins the battle to the puck on the far side. She's bumped to the boards. Puck held at the blue line. Nola Milton slows things down. Stars player upended, but no call. Play continues as the puck bounces around. Scott finally able to control and gain some speed through center. Gets to the blue line, dumps it in deep. Bluebirds getting most of a line change. Played through center. This bouncing puck is going to come right in on Wastrel, and she'll cover up the attempt to spring Brooklyn Carlston on the stretch pass that didn't quite click. But another offensive zone faceoff for the Stars, who would love to start the scoring against the heavily favored Bluebirds. Stars come in averaging a little less than 2 goals per game. They've been shut out 7 times this season. This one played in on Wastrel. Faceoff was won back to the point, but under the stick of here, and then back the other way come the Bluebirds. Johnson, a snapshot save with a blocker by Thermer. Johnson is tripped up, penalty coming. Wastrel heads for the bench. Julene regroups, back for Oswego. Through the middle, Lily McKenzie, the leading scorer for the Bluebirds, plays it in on goal. Abby Thermer able to make the save, cover it up. We'll have the penalty call. And the Bluebirds' first opportunity on the power play comes 3 minutes and 14 seconds into the contest. Ariel Carlston called for the trip. Number 22 on number 22. Shot from the point, deflected up and over the net. Bernovic tried to sweep it out front. Johnson can't get his shot through. Pitchfork attempt by Sanders, held at the line by McKenzie. Ketting plays it across. Johnson back up top. Scott, high shot and wide. Rebound out front, tipped home, and the Bluebirds are on the board just 25 seconds into this power play. We're a couple of sticks behind the goaltender. The shot by Scott was high and wide and ricocheted right back out behind. May have gone off the back of the keeper as well. First through the line was Kyla Ketting, so I assume she was the one to poke it home. Have to wait for the official announcement. But a 1-0 lead very early for the home team. That one didn't click. Icing waved off. It will just be the single assist for Kylie Scott. Shot from Del Castillo came in and relatively easily handled by Abby Thermer. A face-off to her right. Just a couple ticks beneath 13 minutes remaining in the opening period. Del Castillo plays it down low, hops over the stick of Olsen. Zahalka carries behind, circles away from the pressure. Olsen in between a couple of defenders, able to slip through. Puck still in her skates. Poking at it is Zahalka as well. Puck finally forced to the corner by Natalie Cheney. She tries to backhand it up the board. Scott not able to hold. Puck comes to center. Del Castillo retrieves for the Bluebirds. That pass out of the reach of Bowden all the way down for an icing call. And another face-off in the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. A very early lead and a big advantage on the shot. 6-1 in favor of the Bluebirds. Fair number of face-offs down in this end. That one won cleanly by McKenzie. Oswego fires it rink wide all the way down, and a little too much on it, not quite enough angle. They were trying to spring Sydney Bernovic with her speed, and that freshman has been fun to watch this season. Sydney Bernovic, 11 goals, 12 assists to make her second on the team in scoring with 23 points. But more impressively, she has points in 13 of the last 14 games. The only time she did not score is when the Cardinals were shut out against Andover last week. The Huskies recently dropped from 1 to 5 in one ranking. They still sit atop the state rankings in the QRF. But had to play Minnetonka and Andover back-to-back, two of the top at least 5, if not 3, programs in the state of Minnesota right now, depending on which ranking you look at. Battle down along the end line. Nola Milton blew a tire. This one comes loose out to the point. Singh, good challenge. Little body, but no call. Pass ahead for Brnovic. Trying to cut back, finds some room. A shot up high, rebound jammed at, and an early whistle as the referee lost sight, though the puck was never covered by Thurmer. It was a good follow-up by Oswego from the defensive position right there for that loose puck. But the whistle sounds, and Thurmer had already made that second save. It was going to the boards anyway. Backhand opportunity for Keating, misses wide. Stars breakout pass, a little out of reach. Scott turns it around, back into the zone, lost the handle a bit. Olsen will fire it in. Zahalka finds some room in the corner. Pressured. Slowed there and now tied up with Carlston. The Stars able to force it out to center. Keating tried to turn it around. Puck bounces back and forth. Keating able to knock it down, stay with it into the corner. Held off it nicely by Carlston that time. Couple of players each side. Olsen walking out of the corner. Poke check by Thurmer. And it's Carlston skating to center and then sending it in past Kylie Scott. Julene behind the net. Plays it around, the forecheck from Kozak. And out to center, and we're going to get another tripping call, as it's hard to argue when your skate is stuck in the opponent's skates. Sylvie Oberby lost her skates, or lost her stick as Julene cut to the middle of the ice. And Champlin Park Coon Rapids back on the power play, already up 1-0 on a power play goal in this period. Johnson leaves it off, gets it back from Scott, snaps it. That didn't make it through. Johnson plays it back. Scott looks, wants a lane, can't find the hole to get that through, and Northern Tier able to play at the length of the ice. Lily McKenzie trying to get around the corner and does. Sets up along the midboard. Cross ice pass. Brooklyn Johnson down low out front, looking for a redirect from Brnovic. That was stopped up. Pushed out to center by Zafransky. Scott carries back in, cuts to the top of the circles. Down low to Brooklyn Johnson, back up top. Scott looks, moves to her backhand and leaves it off for Brooklyn Johnson. Indirect back down low for Scott. She'll walk it back up top. Looking back door, and it was just behind Lily McKenzie a little bit and not able to snap off a quick shot. Scott back to the middle through traffic. Not sure if that got through to Thurmer or if it just hit Keating, who was standing on the doorstep. Down low, Keating in the corner. Lost the handle a bit. Johnson will snap it. Save up high by Thurmer. Back up top. Shot. Didn't make it through. Cleared, and Scott can't quite make it. Carlston pushes it behind her. A chance shorthanded, and she misses just wide. Under 10 to go in the power play. McKenzie across on her backhand. The save made by Thurmer. Rebound got back behind her. And Keating, or Brnovic, rather nearly able to push it free into a wide open net. Johnson finding some room. She snaps it up high. Rebound is loose, jammed at. Comes out to the point. Julene holds down low. Cam Singh walking the top of the circle. Singh avoids a couple of sticks, lost the handle, recollects in the corner. Singh fanned on the backhand pass attempt, taken away by Carlston. She's pressured by Brnovic as she gets to center ice. Forces the turnover. Cam Singh trying to skate back in. Jaden Kozak there to take the puck away. Singh throws a bit of a check, and she is going to the box, and the Stars will get an opportunity with the advantage. 7:37 to play in the opening period. Stars still with just one shot on the board. Will be called a cross check. Referee had a brief discussion with Cameron Singh in the penalty box. Face off. Bluebirds unable to clear. Stick save to the corner by Wastrel. Played out front. All kinds of white jerseys. Zahalka able to get it out to center. Played right back in deep by Olivia Nielsen. Behind the net, Oswego gets it ahead. Zahalka clears it up and out of play. Looking for a bounce off the glass, went a little too tall. So a face-off in the Bluebirds' end, 7:16 to go. 1:40 remaining in the penalty to Cam Singh. Stars able to win the draw. Sanders tied up in the corner. Good stick from Kylie Scott. Gets support from Safransky, who played it back around, but first one there is Brooklyn Johnson. Johnson avoids some pressure, stays with it, gets it back out to neutral ice. Stick handling, losing some Stars players, burning some time off of that power play, and then Scott just plays it in on Thurmer, who holds for a faceoff. Zahalka able to win the draw to the boards, but the Stars able to win the race to the puck and get it back out to center. Brnovic with a quick turn, now heads up ice, and now will play it in and around. Zahalka pressuring the puck far side, shorthanded. Carlston able to send that one around, but a little too much, and it ends up being icing. Bluebirds like to be aggressive, shorthanded, even against the best of teams, so certainly not going to be afraid to pressure the puck in the offensive zone against Northern Tier. Zahalka again winning the draw to the boards. Nola Milton delayed a bit and then played it down around. A little loss behind the net by the Stars, and Brnovic tried to jump on it. Shot misses wide for Milton. Stars able to skate to center, but the pass is then taken away by Milton, who carries right back in. Johnson gets it down low for McKenzie, walking out front. Leaves it, a shot by Scott, and I think Thurmer got a piece of it. And then there was a post-up play out front, and that shot was blocked. McKenzie sweeps a backhand through the top of the crease. Penalty to Singh is over as Johnson plays it down low for Lily McKenzie. Back to Johnson. Johnson trying to find a way out of the corner, plays it behind instead. McKenzie will recover in the near corner, up to the point. Julina's shot, stopped up by Singh out front, tried to get it around the keeper, but now it's cleared out to center by Northern Tier. Scott turning, was cut off there by Kozak. Support came from McKenzie, who carries in deep. Backhands it to the back door. Singh had a poke at it. McKenzie gets it back. Lost an edge as she's been out there a long time and just absolutely running on fumes. Singh battles in the corner with a couple of Stars players. Comes to the line. Julene holds. Good thought from Cam Singh, but the pass just a little behind Lily McKenzie on the near side. Stars able to clear it all the way down as Swegan gives chase, and it'll run out of juice before it gets to the line. So she plays it ahead. Singh deflects it. Gets a line change as Northern Tier turns things around. Tessa Bowden fresh onto the ice, trying to circle the Stars in the defensive end. Emma Olsen trying to leave it back behind. Bowden stripped Nielsen of the puck. Olsen trying to center, went off the back of the cage. Swegan will play it down low. Olsen in the corner, trying to get around, could not center. Bowden trying to turn and shoot. Instead, it's Northern Tier skating to center. Dumped in deep by Brooklyn Carlston. Del Castillo pressured behind, a shot with a lot of traffic out front. Penalty upcoming for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. It's going to be Del Castillo for a rough as she threw the body a bit behind the net on that play. And another opportunity for Northern Tier on the power play. Had just one shot on goal on their last advantage. .339 to go in the first period as Northern Tier starts its second power play. McKenzie, another win on the draw. Milton pressured in the corner. Puck comes free. Scott able to poke it loose. And McKenzie, cross ice for Bernovic. Bernovic has some room down the right wing. Trying to center. Milton tried to sweep it back into the corner. Bernovic disrupts things. She's tied up with Cheney along the board. Comes loose with the puck out front. Bernovic, a backhand chance and a save by Thurmer. Stars force it in deep. Larson relieved of the puck as Scott plays it off the glass and out. Fiedler circling in her own zone, passes it up the wing, nobody there, that'll be icing. 1:07 remaining in the power play for Northern Tier, 2:45 in the opening period. Champlin Park Coon Rapids with a 1-0 lead on the strength of a Kyla Keating goal on the power play at 3:39. Lone assist on that goal for senior captain Kylie Scott. Stars trying to break up the near side and a lot of pressure shorthanded again from Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Hold at the line by Johnson. Her shot deflected by Carlston. Can't clear. Swegan jumps on it. A shot in on Thurmer. Poke free, but right to Kylie Swegan. This one poked out and down ice by Jaden Kozak. She's going to get there before the line. Pressured by Zahalka. Coughs it up to Brooklyn Johnson. Johnson ahead to Zahalka, couldn't handle the pass, turned back into the zone by Marissa Miller. Julene cross ice, couldn't clear. And now Zahalka able to get it down to the other end. Brooklyn Johnson pressuring. Gaining an edge and just flipping it at the net. And Thurmer had it go off the side of her skate. Bernovic couldn't hold. Julene held the zone momentarily. That pass broken up by Swegan. And Julene recovers. Julene bumped off of it. Swegan can't get it through traffic. Dumped back in by Brooklyn Carlston. That one took a funny bounce, went off the side of the cage, but Lily McKenzie has control and will skate to center. Penalty is over, back to even strength. A minute 15 remaining in the first period. Champlin Park Coon Rapids, an impressive 18-2 advantage in shots, but just a 1-0 lead. Scott out front, backhander by McKenzie, just misses wide. Back out front, banging away at it. Puck still bouncing around, still loose. Picked up by McKenzie. She regathers, she's knocked off of it. Milton holds on the far boards. McKenzie pokes it free. McKenzie lost the handle as she went to the backhand. Singh recovers off the near board. 40 seconds left. Plays it down and around. Milton missed it as she went to hold. Bernovic stops up, blew a tire. Milton will dump it in deep. Singh able to get a piece of that and slow it down, but Stars still able to get it out to center. That pass had a little too much on it and a little behind Julene. And the Bluebirds will have to go all the way down if they hope to add another. Under 5 seconds remaining. McKenzie shoots, but she was offside, and we'll have a face-off with 1.7 remaining in the neutral zone. So we're going to the first intermission with a 1-goal lead. That goal again coming on the power play early in the contest. Just 25 seconds into the first power play of the game for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. But they certainly made it a night for Abby Thurmer. Abby Thurmer with 18 saves in the opening period is keeping Northern Tier in this contest. It's 1-0 as we reach the end of the first. You're watching girls high school hockey live on CTN. Back at the Ice Forum in Champlin for girls high school hockey here on Hockey Day, Minnesota. The Champlin Park Coon Rapids Fighting Bluebirds with a 1-0 lead over Northern Tier Stars after the opening period, but it's certainly not from lack of pressure. 19 shots on goal for the Bluebirds in that opening period, but so far, Abby Thurmer, their sophomore goalkeeper, has held the Stars in it. Sydney Bernovic with speed down the left wing. Tried to play it out front, deflected in on Thurmer. She puts it in her glove and holds for a faceoff. Will be coming up to her right early in this second period. McKenzie wins the draw right at the net. Thurmer pushes it to the corner. Bernovic out to Scott, right back to Bernovic on the midboards. Up top, Scott. Pressured. Skates back to the near side. Trying to send it out front, and Thurmer able to get hold of it and cover it up again. Bluebirds moving well early, almost as if they were on the power play. Champlin Park Coon Rapids 1 for 2 on power plays in the first period. The Stars 0 for 2. Had just one shot on goal in their 2 power play opportunities. The Bluebirds with a couple of good shorthanded chances. This one came through traffic. Pad saved by Thurmer. McKenzie able to get it back out to the slot, but the Bluebirds not able to get a stick on it. Stars able to force it out to center. Loose puck played by Shelby Julien in deep. Behind the net is Molly Larson stopping up. That's Savannah Johnson. Del Castillo pinches way in, fired it off the post, and it comes free to Larson in the far corner. That pass ahead, broken up by Del Castillo. She'll have to chase it down back in her own end. Sanders pressuring, plays it around. Bowden gets it to Zahalka through center ice. Zahalka had it poked off her stick by Cheney. Gets it right back. Walks in, backhand and a goal. Just good patience from the freshman Tessa Bowden, walking out of the corner. Made the goalie commit, held, and deposits it on the backhand. That is her 7th goal of the season, and it puts the Bluebirds up 2-0 early in this second period. Bowden had a really strong start to her freshman campaign. Has been a little more quiet over the last couple of weeks, but a big insurance goal for the Bluebirds early in this second period after they have really peppered the net, but had so little to show for it. Face-off win. Oswego plays it down. It bounces over Bowden's stick. Stars play it off the glass to the line, held by Milton at least momentarily, and now played all the way down, and it'll end up being icing. We'll have another face-off in the northern tier zone. A little less than 15 minutes remaining in this second period. Champlin Park Coon Rapids with a 3-2 win over Elk River Zimmerman earlier this week is the 3rd time in less than a month that they have beaten the Elks, and all 3 games have been by a 3-2 score. One of the 3 ended up in overtime. Cam Singh down the wing, tried to play it back to the point, but it was recently vacated. Milton plays it across. Johnson into the skates of Bernovic, sent back out to center. Icing waved off as it went right between the wickets on Kylie Oswego. Milton, a nice job to shield the puck, get it ahead to Cam Singh. Bernovic cuts back, now moves it ahead for Brooklyn Johnson. Johnson gets in, a shot and a toe save by Thurmer. Last contest we covered for the Bluebirds, Brooklyn Johnson netting her first career hat trick. This one played all the way down, and it'll be another icing call. That was against Armstrong Cooper a couple weeks ago. Ariel Carlston able to win the draw, but Keating wins it right back. Shot from the point got through for Scott, but Thurmer makes another save. Bluebirds continue to pound away, and the puck was loose for a while. A little pushing and shoving after the cover. As the Stars may be a little frustrated with how much the Bluebirds have been buzzing around their netminder. Through the first 20-plus minutes of this contest. Kylie Keating battling in the corner, gets some help from Olsen. Bowden able to step in and grab the loose puck momentarily. Ariel Carlston gets it ahead, bounces away from Kozak, but she's able to get it out to center. Scott back into her own zone, hounded by Sylvie Overby. Carlston pressuring. Overby got a stick on the pass, but Bowden able to recover for the Bluebirds. Bowden going to her backhand, slips it for Keating. Keating trying to settle, hammered home on the doorstep by Kylie Scott. Came down from the blue line to support on the rush, and just like that, the Bluebirds in front by 3. And that is a big part of this Champlin Park Coon Rapids squad, is their ability for their defenders to come up and join the rush. Kylie Oswegen, the freshman defender, 4th on the team in scoring with 15 points. Kylie Scott, her 2nd point of the game, a goal and an assist so far. And that gives her 14 points on the season. And you knew the dam was probably going to burst with how much pressure CPCR had consistently been putting on at the northern tier end. A couple quick goals and a 3-0 lead now, just about 5 minutes into this second period. Pass out front was deflected. Evelyn Semling was coming down the slot. Bluebirds get it in deep. Battle out front. Semling sends it just wide. Del Castillo pinches and sends it back behind. McKenzie couldn't get to it. With speed out of the corner is Jaden Kozak. It's Marissa Miller, got to the blue line, played it right in on Wastrel. She just saved it to the corner. Her team breaks it right back out. Now they've got numbers. Semling looked to drop, nobody there. Stars able to play it out to center. Scott, cross-ice pass, intercepted by Taylor Kozak. Scott gets it right back. Scott will step up and skate with it. Finds some room in deep, tried to cut back and lost the handle, and was also tripped up as she got tangled with the goaltender Thurmer. Brnovic trying to look back door. Johnson trying to center. That was deflected. Stars able to gain control, and skating to center with it is Brooklyn Carlston. Milton plays it back up the wing. Brnovic to center for McKenzie. McKenzie with some room down the left wing. Shot off the far post, and Thurmer reels it in. It's a couple of posts already in this second period for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, as well as a couple of goals. Already 10 shots on goal officially for Champlin Park Coon Rapids in 6 minutes and 16 seconds of this second period. Just one for Northern Tier, so the tally on the board is at 29-3. Digging it free off the boards is Brooklyn Carlston. She skates to center. Second poke check attempt is good for Oswego. Emma Olson, good patience, and skates to center, flips it around, catches back up. She's got help out front. She'll circle the net. Look out to the point. Oswego had to get it with her backhand. Will dump it back in deep. Olson again. Olson pinned to the boards. Coming up with it is here. She gets it out to center. Tori Thurmer, long shot, stick saved by Wastrel. Breakout comes to Singh, back to Julene, had to reach back for it, able to drag it into neutral ice. Pitchforked back in by Taylor Kozak. Julene pressured behind the net. Ariel Carlston comes up with a steal. Her pass carried to center, so the Stars have to tag up. Cam Singh recovers for CPCR, gets it to Brooklyn Johnson at center ice. Johnson across, a little behind Keating, had her spun around a bit. Carlston able to get it back out to center and down into the Bluebirds' end. Scott across. Nola Milton will skate to center, or Del Castillo rather, to center. She's bumped to the ice as she dumps it in. Carlston slips it around Keating. Gets it back, backhands it out to center. Icing waved off as the sticks were tied up. Del Castillo will sweep it behind. Keating. And now Johnson with Bowden, a 2-on-1 out front. Bowden all alone to her backhand, and Thurmer got a toe on it. Bowden nearly at her second of the game and the third of the period for Champlin Park Coon Rapids, but Thurmer getting just a toe as she went back to her forehand. And now skating with it is Jaden Kozak. Kozak will carry behind, poked away by Milton, chopped into the near corner. Bowden recovers for CPCR. That pass was broken up. Larson tripped up, and that's going to be a penalty, and this is a huge, huge power play coming up for the Northern Tier Stars. They have not been able to get much going at all when they've had the advantage, but now they're here down 3. Nola Milton going for the trip. Able to win the draw. Shot from the point was blocked by Oswego. Oswego hustles to it, continues to jam, but held at the line. Centering pass, well defended by Bernovic. It comes in where Wastrel could cover it up, and now McKenzie's going to get a penalty for the hit after the whistle in close to the netminder, and CPCR are going to have to try and kill off a 5-on-3 for a minute 46. And this is a glorious opportunity for the Stars. Coach Todd Gutterman getting an explanation from the official. Did not think that warranted a penalty considering the treatment of his young athletes in front of the opposing team's net a couple of times already in this period. But it happened right in front of the official, right after the whistle. And so that can happen. Oswego finds some room and sends it all the way down. Marissa Miller from behind her own net. That pass didn't click. Kylie Scott will send it in. And the Stars will try again. That pass a little bit behind, but they get it to Molly Larson. Larson gets the zone, drops it for Sanders. Sanders bounces it off the board to the point. That shot deflected wide. Out to the point, dumped back in deep by Nielsen. Scott pressures, gets a steal, then lost it off the side of the cage. That was a good defensive play in the middle by Brnovic, and then she blocks a shot as well. And then the pass from Marissa Miller was behind Larson, and that allows Brnovic to get to it, clear it all the way down. Good penalty kill effort by the freshman Sydney Brnovic. At center ice, Ariel Carlston. She'll skate to the corner, leave it off. Johnson there to challenge. That forces a loose puck. And Kylie Scott sends it all the way back down to Abby Thurmer. That shot blocked by Scott. Scott carries behind. Able to get around Jaden Kozak, get it ahead to Brooklyn Johnson. Johnson at center ice, skating with it. Has some room, and she's not going to give it up. She's just going to try and kill as much time as she can. First penalty is over. And down to the final 10 seconds of the period to Lily McKenzie. No shots on goal in a minute 45 of 5-on-3. That was well played by the Bluebirds. Here's a Swegan weaving through it. Swegan has shot. Thurmer the save, and able to cover up on a rebound chance from a Swegan as well. So again, maybe not as many shorthanded chances for the Bluebirds, but a very impressive penalty kill, and considering they were down 5-on-3 for a minute 45, didn't give up a single shot, and were able to continually clear the puck all the way down, pressure the puck in their own zone, force turnovers and bad passes, maintain their 3-goal lead. McKenzie out front. Brnovic was tied up by Savannah Johnson. Stars able to get it to center. Here's an opportunity for Brooklyn Carlston, tied up at the last second by a back-checking Briley Del Castillo. Here's Lily McKenzie with speed. She's got Cam Singh with her. McKenzie around to Singh, and it was just out of her reach at the back door. Brnovic stops up along the midboard. Trying to center. That was deflected, knocked down, and now controlled by McKenzie. Left it down low. Tried to center. Brnovic jams at it. Thurmer the save. Singh circles. Avoids a stick check in tight. Nothing on the shot, and Thurmer able to cover it up. Bluebirds were able to dig it free behind the goaltender, but the whistle had already blown, and again some pushing and shoving after the whistle, and we are going to see a Northern Tier penalty. Savannah Johnson going for the rough, and so now the Bluebirds with a 3-goal lead will go on the power play with 4:50 to go in this second period. Bluebirds 1 for 2 on the power play in the first period. They had 3 shots on goal. Converted early in their first power play opportunity. This one played to the line as Swegan holds to the middle for Julien. Julien gets it back from Del Castillo. 3 defenders up top for Coach Gutterman's power play unit this time. Swegan a shot, saved by Thurmer. They can't clear. Swegan will regroup up top. Along the near boards for Singh. Singh will walk to the center. Take the shot, deflected in on Thurmer. She's in good position, makes another save. Bluebirds win the puck right back. Julien throws it through the slot, but Bowden didn't see it as it went right between her legs. A chance in close, 2 chances, and Thurmer shuts the door as Swegan, and then Bowden on the rebound. Again, winning the puck, and finally Northern Tier able to get a hold of it and play it all the way down. They'll get some fresh penalty killers out there midway through this advantage for Champlin Park Coon Rapids. Bluebirds crossed up behind their own net. Swegan got tripped up by Bowden, but here comes McKenzie down the left wing. Lily McKenzie tried to go short angle. but fanned on the shot out to the point for Kylie Scott. That shot through traffic missed wide. McKenzie had it momentarily, and then the Stars able to get it and at least play it out to neutral ice. 30 seconds left in the penalty to Savannah Johnson. Kylie Scott sends it back to Brooklyn Johnson at the point. Back to Scott. Back to Johnson. Too much on it, out of her reach. Back out to center. To Lily McKenzie. She will skate in. Down to the final 10 seconds. Got around a couple. A shot on the backhand. Another chance. And a couple of late saves on that power play for Abby Thurmer. This shot deflected in, and Thurmer saves and covers. Yund officially 6 shots on goal on that power play. Officially up on the scoreboard, a 38-4 shots advantage in favor of the home team. Kylie Scott discussing things with the official down by the northern tier goal. Referees clearly trying to limit the amount of extracurriculars around the net after the whistle, but did not dish out a penalty that time. Centering attempt by Semling was broken up by the stick of Thurmer. Bowden wins it back, gets it out to Kylie Scott. Scott back to Bowden. Tried to play it across, but it carries out across the blue line. Milton chased back into her own end. Cross for Bowden. It kind of handcuffed her. She'll get it off the boards and just chip it out to center. Molly Larson for the Stars played it back, and then the backhanded pass attempt by Bryn here was deflected up. Here will get it back in her own end. Cross for Cheney. Cheney pressured by Bowden. Those two go into the boards. Milton forces the puck in deep. Here recovers behind the net. Well, give and go, trying to get Sanders with speed down the wing. She was pressured, so just dumps it in deep. Semling for the Bluebirds. Long pass for Singh at the blue line. Singh carries back into her own end, sidesteps the stick check attempt, skates to the other end, fakes a shot into the right corner. Then tried to leave it there, but the Stars intercept. And now at northern tier with a 2-on-1. And a little bobble with the puck by Kozak. And that forced Sylvie Overby in offside. 1:18 remaining here in period number 2. McKenzie wins the draw, but it hopped over the stick of Julene. She'll play it behind for Kylie Oswegan. Ahead for Cam Singh. Poked away by Carlston. Comes loose for Nielsen, who fires it in. Knocked down by Julene. Under a minute to go in the period as Shelby Julene skates in. Drops off for Cam Singh. Down low, a deflection ends up wide for McKenzie. Played it back through the top of the crease, but Carlston gets it to center, and then the pass gets away from Overby as she heads to the bench for a change. Bluebirds get it back out, and now right back in, and it's Lily McKenzie finding a way through. Lily McKenzie down low, poked off her stick by Marissa Miller, who gets it to the line but not out. Julene plays it in deep. Cam Singh, good position to win the puck in the corner. To the top of the circles. Plays it across. The shot from the point by Del Castillo. Rebound poked at, but Thurmer able to cover before she has a Champlin Park Coon Rapids player dumped over the top of her. That was Lily McKenzie, who is on the doorstep. I believe it was Olivia Nielsen who pushed her over the goal keep. 11.5 seconds remain in this second period. A couple of goals in the frame for Champlin Park Coon Rapids to increase their lead to 3. Looking back door, Kylie Scott's shot, and Thurmer got a piece of it to send it wide. Good setup play off the face-off win. And the Bluebirds will go to the locker room up by a 3-0 score. They get goals from Tessa Bowden and Kylie Scott early in that second period to open up the lead. Third period is coming up next on CTN. Back at the Ice Forum in Champlin. Champlin Park Coon Rapids a 3-0 lead over the Northern Tier Stars. And if it weren't for Stars netminder Abby Thurmer, it could be much, much worse. CPCR holding a 39-4 edge in shots on goal through 2 periods. A great way for their final game of the season here at the Forum to go. It's senior night for the Bluebirds. It's Hockey Day Minnesota. And Northern Tier have not had much opportunity with the puck, much less opportunity on goal. Maddie Wastrel just 4 saves in the contest, and I think the closest one was maybe 35 to 40 feet away. CPCR, meanwhile, has followed up on a lot of rebounds, and they have been hammering away at Abby Thurmer. Got a first period goal on the power play from Kyla Keating. And then early in the second period, Tessa Bowden walking out of the corner. And just a couple minutes later, Kylie Scott in close on a second chance. Made it 3-0. Stars get it in deep. Shelby Julian retrieves for the Bluebirds. She's tied up. Puck is loose out front, poked away by Scott, then cleared all the way down by Cam Singh. That'll be icing. And we'll bring a face-off back to the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Face-off to the left of Maddie Wastrel. Molly Larson in the circle against Lily McKenzie. McKenzie wins it. And now has it skating through center. Gets around the corner, centers. Tied up Semling a little bit as it was in her skates. Turnover in the corner. Larson wings it around the boards, sent right back in deep by Briley Del Castillo. Semling along the near boards, out to Oswegan at the point. Oswegan trying to hold the line, but it's poked out to center. Bernovic recovers across to Del Castillo. She will step up and skate it down the wing into the zone. Cuts out front, lost the handle. Loose puck will bounce out to center. Oswegan. And that's going to be a penalty against Semling as she got tangled up with Elena Zafransky. Zafransky went down, and so Evelyn Semling will head to the penalty box early in this second period. Just a minute 24 in. Stars 0 for 4 on the power play, just 1 shot on goal with the advantage, and they had a minute 45 of 5-on-3 during that second period. Scott able to lift a stick, force the turnover. Bowden will skate to center. Bowden sends it to the boards, tracks it down, poked away by Carlston. That pass in the skates of Overby. Scott gets it across. Milton does not get it all the way in deep. Johnson disrupts things. Scott intercepts a pass. Scott will step up. Kylie Scott into the zone. Trying to weave through traffic, poked off her stick. Milton gets the loose puck and sends it in deep. Bluebirds like to pressure shorthanded, and they have caused the Stars fits on the advantage. Really have not had any time to set up in the zone with the power play, despite being on the power play 4 different times. Larson digs it free out of the corner. Skates to the top of the zone, now backhands it in deep. Scott, first one there, turns and fires, but not out. Shot and a goal for Molly Larson. As that loose puck just came to her, she hammered it high, and gets Northern Tier on the board here early in this third period, keeping their hopes alive with a power play tally at 2:49 of the second period. And we'll see if that gives extra spark to the Stars. As, again, their netminder has kept them in this contest. 37 saves already on the night for Abby Thurmer. Cheney gets the assist. McKenzie's shot deflected and ends up wide. Oswego jams it in on the boards. To the line, but not out. Singh steps up, lost the handle, right to Julene. Julene a shot into the chest of Thurmer, and McKenzie waiting right there for the rebound. And we're going to see, I think, a pair of penalties. They're going to give Lily McKenzie a penalty. I'm not sure why. And again, there's been some extracurriculars around the net. McKenzie's going to get a technical and a game misconduct for slapping her stick on the ice, and that is an official trying maybe a little too hard to take control of the game. That is we'll see what they give her in addition. Called unsportsmanlike. I don't know if something was said as well. Coach Gutterman getting an explanation. Again, it was clear that the officials were trying to take control of things. Isabel Roca will come over to the bench to serve the extra penalty. Referees discussing it as well. Will this be a 5-on-4? Will it be a 4-on-3? We have not heard the announcement of any penalty. Looks like it's going to be 5-on-4. The Bluebirds still have 5 players on the ice. So it looks like they're just giving McKenzie a misconduct for the penalty. Coach Josh Kozak wants an explanation why they sent another player to the box, but yet we're still playing 5-on-5. So the offsetting minors on the initial call, and then an unsportsmanlike misconduct penalty against Lily McKenzie. So I'm assuming she will sit for 10, but that will not result in an extra player off the ice, which would leave us at 5-on-5. Coach Kozak wants an explanation. Now they're taking an extra player, the extra player out of the box, because the 2 and 10 will not need to be served concurrently. They are consecutive penalties, so McKenzie's 10-minute misconduct will not start until after the 2 minutes is over. Offsetting penalties to her, and I did not see which Northern Tier player came to the ice, but there's a lot of back and forth between the officials, the benches, the scorers table. We still have 5 players on the ice for Champlin Park Coon Rapids and 5 on the ice for Northern Tier as well. To be honest, if there was nothing said, slapping your stick on the ice in frustration is a pretty fine line to give someone a 10-minute misconduct for unsportsmanlike conduct. But as there has been a lot of back and forth between the players, the benches, and the officials, and Lily McKenzie in particular has had some discussions with the refs a couple of different times tonight about the calls around the net. I didn't see anything in the initial play that warranted a penalty against the Bluebirds' leading scorer, but the referee saw it differently. And then for him to assess an additional misconduct penalty for a stick slap seems a little bit aggressive. But a lot of talking happening on the far side of the ice between Coach Kozak and both of our referees. Our linesman is having a little bit of a huddle with the Bluebirds on the ice. The Stars have chosen to huddle in the slot instead. And after all of that, we're going to stay 5-on-5 and we're going to keep playing hockey. Lily McKenzie will be in the sin bin for much of the remainder of this period, I assume. Cheney gets called for a slash. 2 minutes for roughing and 10-minute misconduct. Backhand chance by Olsen, turned away by Thurmer. So McKenzie, if my math is right, will come back with a little less than 2 minutes left in the game. She'll, on the following whistle after we pass the 1:39 mark, she will be released from the sin bin. Johnson, the wrist shot into the midsection of Thurmer. She'll hold on. We'll face it off again. Shot totals up to 44-5 now. Just one shot in the period for Northern Tier, but it was a power play goal. Molly Larson hammering it top shelf. Scott gets position, takes it away from Jaden Kozak. Off the board for Singh. Singh couldn't handle it. Pokes it free. Bernovic wins the race, gets the puck back. Pass off the skates of Singh. And it's the Stars skating to center. Good poke check by Scott at the blue line. Then Scott lost the handle. Scooped up by Larson. Larson spins on the board, tried to center. That was cut off. Brooklyn Johnson gets it to Singh at center ice. Singh one-on-one. Drags it through and scores! Cam Singh with some nifty stick work, and she lights the lamp on senior night. Cam Singh, the former Blaine Bengal, transferring over to Champlin Park in her senior season. Gets her 7th of the year. And it was pretty. And it makes it a 3-goal lead once more for the home team. Olsen can't get it out. Fellow senior Emma Olsen on the score sheet with an assist on senior night as well. Wraparound attempt by Bowden, stopped up by Thurmer. Good stick to disrupt things. Oswego fighting through some traffic. Shakes off a bump, but then forced out to center by Zafransky. Oswego back in her own end, circling. Gains speed into the zone. Top of the circle, shot tipped up and over by Savannah Johnson. Keating tied up along the boards. Bowden there to help out. Oswego in as well. She pokes it free. Keating trying to track it down. Swept along by Johnson. That'll come back out to center. Shelby Julien circling away from pressure and now back into the corner. Plays it behind for Oswego. Oswego, long pass, too far for Brnovic, but it's off the stick of Johnson, so no icing. Brnovic got there first, goes hard into the boards, and this is going to be a penalty on Savannah Johnson. She was going to get the slashing penalty right away as she got beat to the puck by Brnovic, and then I don't believe there will be any extra penalty for the extra contact following. But our referees may discuss whether this constitutes a double minor, because the arm went up immediately on the slash, and then there was the contact that forced Brnovic into the boards. So we'll see if they decide to make it a double minor or just two. Either way, the Bluebirds go back on the power play, up 4-1. And it'll just be 2 minutes for the slash. Scott from the point, didn't get through traffic, loose out front, poked free, and just out of the reach of Scott. She'll have to go back to her own end to retrieve. Pressured by Carlston. Scott will leave it behind for Brooklyn Johnson. Johnson into the zone along the left wing. Down deep into the corner. Looks up top for Kylie Scott. Down to the hash marks. Back up top for Sydney Brnovic. Tried to get it to Singh. It was broken up nicely by Carlston, who then dove to send it down to the other end. Scott sets up behind her own net. Leaves it there for Cam Singh. Singh down the right wing. Gets past Carlston. Tries to get through, lost the handle, and Thurmer is able to cover it up. 55 seconds remaining on the penalty to Savannah Johnson. Puck dropped. Loose puck tipped past a pinching Scott. Forced out to center. A couple of players tangle up and go down. It's recovered in the corner by McKenna Sanders. The Bluebirds outnumber or take it away. Briley Del Castillo with speed down the left wing. Good poke check to relieve her of the puck and played it back out to center where Scott waits. Brooklyn Johnson will skate it in. Pressured by Kozak, lost the handle. Cheney tried to redirect it up the boards. Bluebirds have numbers. Scott through traffic. Final seconds of the power play, and this one ends without a shot on goal. A couple of blocks out front, but certainly the Stars' most productive penalty kill of the contest, and it comes when they absolutely could not afford to give up another goal. Brooklyn Johnson to the right corner. Centering, a chance for Brnovic, a rebound, plays it through the blue paint. A goal for Brooklyn Johnson. And Sydney Brnovic keeps that point streak alive with the assist that makes it 5-1. Brnovic, a good chance initially, and then the rebound came to her. She sent it behind the goalkeeper through the crease, and Brooklyn Johnson took her time to dust it off, make sure she settled the puck and put it into the wide open net. So 3 of the 5 goals by seniors on senior night. Stars able to get this one back to the Champlin Park Coon Rapids end. Oswego tied up, sweeps it along the boards. He's free, shot by Brooklyn Carlston, and a blocker save for Wastrel. Semling couldn't handle the pass, sent right back in by Cheney, right back out by Oswego, still has it in her feet. Deflects it ahead. Bowden tried to drag it through a stick check and couldn't. Knocked down by Pajunin, battling in the zone. Or that's Taylor Zahalka, I apologize. Zahalka bumps with Kozak along the near board. Centering attempt taken away by the Bluebirds, and Johnson back the other way. Cuts across, back to her backhand. Leaves it off, wanted Brnovic coming in fresh off the bench, and pass kind of handcuffed her. Scott circling, drags it to the center. Down to Johnson, back to Scott up top. Scott a shot, that's up over the cage. Julian jumps on it. That shot didn't make it through. Julien stays with it, plays it off the side of the net. Centering effort missed everyone and comes all the way back to the CPCR end. Left off, Johnson's shot didn't get through. Opportunity and a backhand chance by Brnovic is smothered by Thurmer. 50th shot of the contest for CPCR to just 6 on the scoreboard for the Stars. 5:43 to go in this third period. Bluebirds on top by a 5-1 score. They were up 3-0 when Northern Tier got a power play goal early in this third period. Came back and added a couple to really put it out of reach. Brnovic a second chance, but Thurmer able to make a couple of back-to-back saves once more. Tie up off the draw, one back to Del Castillo. She sends it in deep. Olsen down there pressuring on the forecheck. Stars able to turn it the other way. That pass didn't click, sent back in by Del Castillo. Keating leaves it there for Oswego, who sweeps it into the corner. Olsen comes up with a loose puck out front. Keating denied by Thurmer point blank. Shot by Del Castillo in, and another save. Another save for Thurmer, and this time she's able to cover it up. The pressure continues from the home team, CPCR, looking to close their season strong. Got a win on Tuesday night over Elk River Zimmerman by a 3-2 score, the third time they'd beaten the Elks in a month. And after tonight, just 3 games remain at Blaine on Tuesday, at Rogers on Wednesday, and back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center for their final home game of the year against Osseo Park Center. CPCR, a higher QRF ranking than all 3 opponents. But as we all know, that matters little when the puck is dropped. Oswego weaving through traffic, poked to the corner by Thurmer. They lost a overtime game to Blaine early in the season, a game that CPCR definitely had the better play throughout most of the contest, but they came up empty in overtime. That was their first overtime game of 8 they've played this season. But Rogers and Osseo Park Center are both section opponents, all three, of course, in the Northwest Suburban. So 3 conference games, 2 section games, back-to-back contests against Blaine and Rogers, definitely the 2 tougher competition games. And that should really make this team battle-tested and ready come playoff time, just a little more than a week away. Hard to imagine that the tournaments begin already, but we have reached that point in the season. CPCR continues to bring pressure. Keating kind of fanned on the shot, and Thurmer an easy cover. But more than anything, they just want to keep it down at that end of the ice for the last 3:13 and tally their 13th win of the season. Bluebirds came in 12-7-2 on the year. Northern Tier at 6-14-2. Good poke check from Kylie Scott, keeps it on the boards. Now the loose puck comes right back to her. Scott circles and goes back behind her own net. Scott with room will decide to skate through center. Into the offensive zone, goes to her forehand, looking to pass out front. The shot just went wide for Semling. Keating ties up on the boards, wins the puck, gets it out to Zahalka, back to Keating. Waiting, and then it rolled off her stick as she had the wide open net. And the Star is able to get it back out to center. Broken up, turned right back around. Shelby Julien puts the shot on. Thurmer will sweep it into the corner. Julien holds at the point. That shot was blocked by Ariel Carlston. Played back to the CPCRN. Semling tips it ahead to Bernovic. Bernovic down the boards, able to get through a stick check. Get it in deep. Julien missed as she tried to hold the line. Larson able to get in. Larson an opportunity. She's knocked off the puck, and that'll put Northern Tier back on the power play with 96 seconds remaining in the contest. Not a terrible penalty for Sydney Bernovic to take, as Molly Larson had a great opportunity in on goal. Their only goal came on a power play early in this third period. This one bouncing around in the slot. Kylie Scott able to gain control, skate to center. Pass was broken up. Larson down the left wing. Pulls it into the corner, out of the reach of Julien. Julien continues to pressure, centering attempt. Good play by Riley Busing out front to lift a stick. Another one of the Bluebirds seniors getting some time on the penalty kill. Kylie Scott all the way across ice, and now we'll send it around, and Brooklyn Johnson would have been there, but it took a funny bounce in the corner off the Zamboni door. Cam Singh jams it back in deep. She'll battle along the end board. Star is able to chop it out to center. Brooklyn Johnson able to come over and take it away from Overby. Skates it back out to center. Carlston gets underneath her and sends it in momentarily. And the Bluebirds send it all the way down. 15 seconds remain in the contest. And Scott will just skate with it, takes a glance at the clock, waits for the buzzer, and that is a solid end-to-end win for the Fighting Bluebirds. 5-1, your final score. They outshot the Stars 57-7 in the game. And they head into, again, that final week with a couple of big games Tuesday, Wednesday. And then their final regular season game, their final home game over at the Crick on Saturday against Osseo Park Center. It was an entertaining one, completely controlled by the home team. They celebrate a big win on senior night, 5-1, the final score. Want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, I'm Joe Young saying good night.